After an absolute dominant win on Saturday, Washington State looks to stay in a groove when Northern Colorado comes to visit this weekend. And it should be an easy win, but nonetheless, head coach Mike Leach said there is still some tuning up to do. He also talked about storming Area 51 to find out if there's aliens there.
This will probably be the easiest game for Washington State all year. They take on Northern Colorado inside Martin Stadium this upcoming Saturday. Northern Colorado expected to be the worst team in the Big Sky this season, so this should be a pretty good tune-up as they get ready for Houston the following week. One guy I expect to stay in rhythm is quarterback Anthony Gordon. We all know he's coming off that spectacular performance against New Mexico State. 29 of 35 for 420 yards and 5 touchdowns. Northern Colorado allowed 65% completion percentage to opponents last season and 7.9 yards per completion. Also, they lost 3 of their best pass defenders from last season. So I think Gordon's expected to have another big game, and this is what Leach had to say about him going into this week.
I thought the checks he made were sharp. And then, you know, the one thing he did that he'd been doing in practice was the ball comes off his hand quickly and accurately. So then as a result, receivers get more yards after the catch.
All the receivers for Washington State totaled up 496 receiving yards last week, and also a lot of yards after the catch, so expect them to be big in that area again going into this week.
We did a good job of getting straight up field after the initial catch, and I think that's the most important part. If we keep doing that and don't get tempted to kind of dance and run in place, you know, all kinds of these stupid moves and things like that. The one thing you saw our receivers do is go upfield. You didn't see a bunch of stupid moves, and that's just what they are, stupid. And hopefully we can avoid that and not fall into that disease of making a bunch of dumb moves.
On the defense, they're going to have a chance to shine again in this game against Northern Colorado. They came up with 3 sacks last week. I want to see how the front 7 and maybe even some of those DBs apply pressure to the quarterback. They missed a couple of opportunities. But Northern Colorado is a team that will give you some opportunities. Last season, they allowed 40 sacks, and in their season opener against San Jose State, they allowed 4 sacks. So many opportunities to be had by the front 7 and some of those DBs for Washington State. We'll see what they're able to do.
We need to be just sharper as far as our transitions. You know, when we line with a loop, we got to be sharper on that. And you know, and then our D line, which to their credit was saying after the game themselves, they need to play with lower pads next game, and that's the thing. It's just consistently play with low pads and run your feet.
Side note, away from football, anytime you come to one of these Mike Leach press conferences, got to have a little fun, right? Today's topic of conversation, that was a little goofy, was on Area 51. September 20th this month, there's this joke meme Facebook page where people are saying that they're going to go storm Area 51 to find out if there's really aliens in there. Mike Leach was asked today whether he would storm Area 51.
No, I don't think that'd be a good idea, because then they just might test out the stuff they're testing on you to ensure that you don't get in there.
And then, of course, we had to ask him, well, does he think aliens exist in Area 51?
If there is proof of it, that would be a pretty good starting place to look, I would think.
Well, Washington State looked out of this world this past weekend against New Mexico State. We'll see if they're able to fine-tune some of those other things against Northern Colorado this upcoming Saturday here inside Martin Stadium. Reporting from Pullman, I'm Karthik Venkatraman, KREM 2 Sports.